listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Sotomayor and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer, Riley Tocchet, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Regarelia?
What you making out?
Just living a dream, brother.
You, me both.
Getting ready to drive to Boston today for another tournament this weekend.
Big tourney.
Off-season tournaments, 3 straight weekends.
Jeez.
Elvis wasn't happy about next weekend. He's got a birthday party.
Oh.
He said,
Throw a little wrench.
nope, I don't think I want to. I'm like, I paid. You're playing.
So you want to do the birthday party instead of the
Yeah,
tourney?
he'll be able to do both.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
be fine. He's
Priorities,
he'll be fine.
Nast.
Yeah. So I was in Pittsburgh last weekend. Going to Boston this weekend. So
There you go.
see what happens, man. See how the boys do.
Little
The
fun.
young Kings. Pretty fun. It's a
Yeah.
good time. What do you
Miss
got
those
going
days.
on?
Excited to be here.
Yeah, you look like it. The knee. How's the knee? Everybody's asking, how's the knee?
The knee's pretty good. I would almost say that I'm ready to come back.
Oh, wow.
Might need a
Have
little.
you been doing yoga? Do you
every
have you
day.
wrapped it? No, but have you like?
No
You
wrapping.
don't put anything on it.
We don't
No.
wrap this thing.
Not even a sleeve, a little knee sleeve.
I think I tried it for one day. And it was
I
just
sent
like,
you a
yeah.
picture of one I thought might help.
I had one through it on for a day, but I don't know. There was no other reason than just like
No.
just being mindful of keeping it straight on.
Well, you're a doctor, so stay in the Holiday
that's
Inn
pretty good.
Select. Wow, the fact that you diagnosed and treated it,
Well, I'd done it before. I knew exactly what it was.
you don't
Like,
know exactly what it is.
Well,
it's
feeling pretty damn good, right? I'm ready to rock.
Well, if you say you're good, then I believe it.
I may need just a C League type of entry point.
Basically, you're playing C League when you play with us.
All right, well then, and that'll be back.
Even though it's
My
A
welcome
League,
back
I'm a
moment.
C League player, that's for sure.
But other than that, yeah, it's good. Ready to rock, Nas.
Good, brother. Listen, Matvei Michkov. Some rumors going around.
Yeah, I hear him.
I think everyone's heard them.
Yeah.
And people are getting a little excited. Someone, Baller had posted, that he may be released. As we're hearing it from pretty good sources coming from out of Russia.
Yeah.
As Baller may want to explain a little bit better. But I saw a few comments on Baller's post about don't play with my emotions. Don't screw around.
Yeah, don't get people too excited.
Yeah, exactly. And Baller and I were talking about it, and one of the things is I could say is like, look, I know there's a lot of angst out there, and I don't know how much of it is truth or speculation, but there is a growing consensus that maybe not in all corridors, but certainly in some that I don't know. It's just a sense I get in talking to people who are closer to the situation than I am that the prevailing thought is really. And I'm not saying this will definitely happen, but there is a fairly strong belief that we'll soon be seeing, and I don't know, I don't really want to start any rumors, Riggs. You know what I mean? But, what? Are you,
Oh, sorry. I don't want to start rumors. I get it.
I just, I don't want to start any rumors, but I've heard conversations lately that do suggest, and Baller back me up, that we shouldn't be surprised if, and I don't know when or how, okay? I don't know when or how. That there may be a growing chance something could or could not be swinging opinions towards what I've been hearing. So we're going there with Matvei. So hopefully that clears it up for everyone.
Clear as day. So
You understand what I'm trying to
Received.
Good source.
Received.
Yeah, good source.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was good, Nast.
What?
Well reported.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what you took in from that, but did you think I was doing one of my speeches?
I'm still processing. Trying to make sense of this guy's comment.
It's all Baller. He's awesome. Baller.
Oh man, that's
set
classic.
that whole up.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
I
but
love
that's
it.
true. I mean,
It's true.
we're not saying one way or the other. One way or the other. But anyway,
I can see how fans are getting excited
Yes.
about the media reporting this.
Yeah, for sure.
There were some early reports. I don't even know, maybe a month or so ago, that were reports like this, but
Yeah.
they seem to dwindle pretty quickly, just being like just whatever, probably fans' excitement and wants. But this seems to be a little bit more credible, has a little more juice behind it. Again, Russian media, who knows if this. Who knows? I mean, I'm not going to get into
right. Well,
why, but I mean, it's like until it happens, I'm just one of those guys now. It's like I'll believe it when I see it.
When we see it, when we know for sure. And it's like, Anthony Sanfilippo had told us because of the agents, he had fired his agent.
Right.
He's with Fedotov's agent now. They have the same guy. And he was thinking more of like at the end of the season next year, kind of like we brought, like some guys bring free agents in. He's not a free agent, but maybe it'd be then. But now we're hearing this. So there's a reason to get excited.
Yeah.
I mean, if it really happens, and Flyers really aren't saying much on it because I don't think they have any. They
really can't. Yeah.
They don't have anything to do with it. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, excites me to think about it.
Yeah. No shit.
That'd be huge, obviously.
Yeah, it
so
would be.
Time will tell. I'm not gonna invest too much energy into that until it moves along a little further.
So, we'll
I'd like to see some sort of North American media outlet report this and have a little substance, really to kind of justify what they're saying. But yeah, I would love it. That.
Get excited.
I'm excited.
Next
It's got to
year.
be on the first line.
Can't
I heard.
wait till October.
They're not releasing him until he's on the first line.
That
Yeah.
Can't wait till October. Okay, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Our buddy, the big boy, Craig Berube.
Oh,
just named the Toronto Maple Leafs
huge
head coach.
So pumped for Chief.
God, man, what a job, Ross.
Talk about taking on a challenge.
Whew. There's a lot to do there. I talked to him all weekend. And he's so excited. He's going to jump on with us probably next week to just talk a little bit about it. But man, that's one of the biggest jobs, obviously, in hockey. It just goes without saying. I mean, in Canada, Original Six, and you're in the spotlight every single day when you're there. We've talked about it before, like even being on a visiting team in Toronto.
Yeah.
You can't move in the locker room after the game or after practice.
Yeah,
after a morning skate,
swarms.
literally couldn't even straighten the gear because it's mobbed in there, and that's a daily thing in Toronto. I mean, that you're like, those guys are absolute rock stars, and you could be on the fourth line there, and you're a rock star. It doesn't matter who you are, but I can't wait to watch and see, everything Chief brings to a team and the accountability. That's the big word everyone says, but he's a player's coach.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
great.
And I'll guarantee you, I mean, I don't know this for 100%, but I'll guarantee once these guys meet him and he's working with them every day, they're going to love him.
Oh,
how do you not love him?
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
One of that's what, they kept saying that in his press conference, that everyone they reached out to and dug deeper and deeper, it was just not a bad word said about him. And
that's why he's a great coach. Yeah, he knows the game. He's great at pushing guys, and obviously he can X and O the game through and through. But I think it's his personality and the way guys connect with him. He demands respect, and he cultivates that trust with the players.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want to play for a guy like Chief? I mean,
100%. It was like the thing Baller put up, the post that Baller put up the other day showing one coach versus another. Like, nothing against Sheldon Keefe. Like, it's just that's his personality.
Yeah, a little different.
But if you're going into a game like that, you got Chief telling you he came here for, everybody's seen it. But man, it's like they said on TV, you just want to run through a wall for him.
Oh yeah.
Like he fires you up.
Oh yeah.
The way he played, and like he was a tough guy, had a ton of fights, but he was a respectful guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't a cheap guy.
He was honest.
And that's what all those guys always say. He's just an honest guy and played hard, man. And he coaches the same way.
I agree.
Excited for him, man. He's pumped. He's really excited about it.
I can't wait to see that one play out. Do you think he'll help Matthews get to 70?
Well, that skill that Chief possesses, yeah. I think he's got to maybe change Austin's release, a little bit. To drag release. I think he's gonna
squeeze one more out of him.
Just squeeze one more. Hey, buddy, come on, we need one more. Just get there.
Set the bar just a little higher.
He might get 75.
I bet. I'd believe it.
I remember, I'll never forget when I was probably like 15, 16 years old, come up to see my dad, and I'm sitting on the bench in the Spectrum, and the boys are doing a morning skate.
Yeah.
So Toc, he got off early, and Rick Tocchet, and Chiefs on the ice, like working on stuff. Like, they're fairly young. You're going back to 86, 87, whatever. And anyway, I'm sitting on the bench, so Rick Tocchet comes down and sits beside me, and he's kind of, we're just shooting the shit. And he goes, look at this, Chief. And so Toc takes out of his pocket, he's got his keys, like to his card. He goes, Chief, want the keys for the handcuffs? Chief turns around, takes a half clapper right at the boards. I hit the deck.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. He doesn't know where this thing's going. Toc's just laughed. Toc never moved because I guess he trusted Chief.
Chief.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
But it was just, with his skill. He should get 20. He should get 6 more goals out of Matthews.
I would think so,
at least.
What about Marner? You think he'll be able to?
It'll be interesting
create
to
this
see.
guy into a playoff performer or what?
I don't know, man.
Play a little bigger, a little heavier.
Will they move some? One or two of these guys. I mean, like even Tavares. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Maybe he'll want to try to keep those guys and work on that, but who knows? That's not all his decision either.
That's
I'm
right.
sure. So, anyway, congrats, Chief.
Yeah,
awesome, huge honor. I know he's super stoked about it.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Another head coaching news: Sheldon Keefe, who was released by the Maple Leafs.
That's quick.
Yeah. He's been hired. Well, should be hired by today.
Right.
By the New Jersey Devils. So he's jumping in there and see what he can do.
Quick little turnaround.
Turnaround. He was on a boat last week.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gonna chill out. Well, you're in Newark.
No, you're right.
Where are you gonna put that boat?
Little different animal.
Yeah, a little different. Well, it's probably a little bit of a relief for him.
Sure.
Like he's gonna go after a game, after a practice, and be like, "Oh, there's
his anxiety." He'd be like a Buddhist monk after practice because no stress.
No stress. Be awesome.
Yeah.
But congratulations to him and our buddy Frosty there, the equipment guy. And Nasty Nate.
Probably a good spot for him.
For sure.
Nice place to settle after. I'm sure. I can't imagine his nervous system.
He's gonna live in New York City, bro.
Oh, probably.
He's got it.
He's
big time. He's big time.
Cruise over the bridge.
Jim Hiller.
Yeah.
Named the LA Kings. Well, he was the coach. He took over interim, but they took the interim tag off. Gave him, I think, a 3-year extension. Congratulations.
Do you know him at all?
I do not. I do not know him.
Yeah, I don't know either. No. I haven't heard really anything about him either.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know. But
obviously, good enough for them to give him a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure players were, as we know, they have a lot to say about coaches and things like that. So it must have been okay at their year-end meetings and whatever. They must like the guy. They did make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. And Brind'Amour, Rod the Bot, 5-year extension. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Like, what are they doing? If they don't sign this guy, you're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But Carolina locked him up for the next 5 years. So I think just the first thing you had to do if you're Hurricanes,
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some mixed reviews on that one too, just based on obviously he's a great guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great coach, and he's passionate. He cares.
Sorry.
Oh, who is it?
800 number, sorry.
All right. But I've just heard that, just different perspectives, right? It's like, how many years has he been there now? And he just, really can't quite get them over that hump. It's a hard league to win in. I get it, right? I mean, there's a lot of other variables. But really, are you going to find a better guy and a guy that cares more?
Right.
And wears his heart in his sleeve and, he's just the, essence of what a coach should be, right? So
exactly.
I think it's great personally. I mean, I think you find a guy like that and you've had success with him, and he's obviously cultivated a bit of a culture there.
Yeah,
obviously,
for sure he has.
In the locker room and then the city itself.
Yeah.
Keep him. I mean, you lock that guy up. I mean, who else are you going to bring? Then all of a sudden you're playing this juggling act with coaches, trying to find that next Brind'Amour. You had him all along. So I think it's great. I mean, you don't see coaches hang around teams that long, anymore.
No, you don't.
So he's doing something right. I think it's great.
I do too. Congrats. Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
It's my mom's favorite player.
Oh, yeah.
My mom loves Hot Rod.
Don't blame her.
We had a trade this week.
Yeah.
Ryan McDonagh traded back to Tampa for a 2024 7th-round pick this summer, and then a 2nd-round pick next year, 2025. Surprise you at all?
I didn't see it coming necessarily.
Right.
Like,
Well, yeah, kind of course not. He's got 2 years left on his deal at 6.75, I think. Mm-hmm. I heard that he quietly asked for a trade.
Okay.
That's what I was told by one of our good buddies.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard he quietly asked for a trade.
Well,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah, so he goes back, and I think the only thing I had a question about was like, how much are you going to need? Now, I know they have some unrestricted free agents that probably are going to walk, maybe, I don't know, but to sign Steven Stamkos, who says he wants to stay there, to stay in Tampa, their projected cap space is about $5 million.
Okay.
So I think you're going to have to pay him more than that, right?
Yeah, I would think so. You have to maneuver a few pieces there, I guess, right?
It'll be interesting to see. I just thought it was this kind of weird timing, I guess. I
thought
don't
the
know.
timing was weird too. I
just like,
don't really see trades mid.
It's not even near the draft or the draft, yeah. Or free agency. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see what happens there. I think a lot of people are really interested to see if someone goes at Stammer hard, like with a big deal for 2 years, say. I don't know what he's got left, but he's still scoring.
Yeah.
And he keeps himself in phenomenal shape.
Well, what do you give a guy like that for 2 years?
How many goals did he have this year, Baller?
40-something.
Yeah, I mean, he's still optimal.
What do 30-goal guys get?
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
But is he now? He has made money.
Yeah.
And he tasted winning, and he wants to win. So I don't know. It'll just be to me. It'll be interesting to see if someone comes to him with a bigger deal. But it's also got to be a team that has space, and it's a good team because he's not going to want to go somewhere and not win.
He's got 40 on the dot.
40 on the dot. So
yeah,
40 goal scorer.
And then you look at the culture that he's been involved in there with John Cooper and co. Like when you are part. I mean, he's a part of building that culture, right? I mean, he's right in the thick of it. I mean, you got to be certain that your heart's somewhere else to leave that situation, right? So I see it. He was an integral part of building that team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And just to go bounce, it's not with the money. So he'll get paid in and around the same range no matter where he goes.
Right.
But to go somewhere else in a hope play to win, potentially abandoning something great.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's
fun to think about what could happen.
Right, exactly, yeah. So but he's got an amazing situation there in Tampa, and I can see why a guy like McDonagh would want to go back there.
Right. For sure. And it's funny, like, does that open up, like, would Stammer want to go to Toronto? Being from Ontario, obviously. Things like that are just fun to think about, right? Like, imagine you have Austin Matthews out there on your first unit. You got Steven Stamkos coming back in your next unit. Or maybe they're all out there together. I don't know how you could do that, and that could be dreaming on my part. But it's just kind of fun to play with that stuff.
Matthews texting Chief saying, "Bring Stammer in."
Bring Stammer in.
Need some extra. Need some extra muscle for playoffs.
Well, then he might not get 75.
Well, that's true. I take away some
Stammer's
goals.
Stammer's going to take a few away, probably.
But it's for the team.
It's for the team. I'm sure they would do it to win.
Yeah,
right?
I would say so. They're sharing.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Have you heard about, as our good friend Paul Bissonnette calls it, Pussygate?
Yeah.
What is going on in Canada? The OHL. Now, do you know who the kid that said it was?
No.
Plays for London Knights. John Sim's son.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Simma. Yeah, but
oh my gosh.
But so here, so I saw Biz posted something yesterday, and he said they may have had the facts wrong at first because they were all fired up. Supposedly, Simmer's son has a bad shoulder, and the captain of Saginaw said, I'm gonna get you good. I'm gonna hurt your shoulder, put you out, or whatever. However you say it, that's whatever, big deal. No, you. And Simmer's kid says, no, you won't, because you're a pussy, because you're soft. 5 games, suspy?
There has to have
handed
been
down
more
by
to
the
story.
OHL?
There's gotta be more to the story.
For saying the P word? Dude.
Did the linesman or ref just hear it and then that was just like call on the spot?
At first they said that the kid went to the linesman, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And he ran over. They ran over and kind of tattled, but now they're saying it, he didn't really do that. And supposedly the kid from Saginaw, the captain, his dad used to be in a position of power in the OHL, but is not any longer. So it's conflicting stories kind of going on. But basically, they suspended Sim for 5 games, and they ended up sweeping, but he didn't get to play or lift the cup.
I mean, was there a track record of him being vulgar or something? I mean, even so, I've never heard anything like this. I mean, how many times is that said in the game?
What are you trying to take away from the game here?
I think there's some new rule in the OHL that there's some no bullying policy, and that classified as bullying.
That's exactly what they said. I said, Baller's exactly right.
I did not know of that rule. But no bullying.
Come on, bullying?
Where's the line? What
about the guy saying, "Hey, I'm going to hurt you"?
Well, yeah, that's bullying. I mean,
come on.
The sport is the psychology of hockey does have a little element of bullying in it,
yes.
right? I mean, you're fighting for a goddamn puck.
Yes.
So you're going to have to cross that line of being neutral, and at some point, and create some sort of confrontation. 100%. If that's bullying, then the whole game of hockey is bullying. It should be banned. Is basically what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just verbal bullying, but
yeah, and I mean, you're basically saying the P word. Okay, people are getting wound up. It's just you're saying you're soft. And you're not talking about anything else.
Yeah.
It's just on the ice. Oh, you're soft. But
technically, if you said you're soft, would be some bit of bullying too, right? Because you're essentially talking down to somebody, just using a different word.
But 5 games.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I agree. It's insane. It's
insane. Come on, Ontario.
I'd say a nightmare that we've all seeing in slow motion happen since they've been starting to take out fighting and the softness of the game. Hey, and don't get me wrong, I love the skill and the ability of these players, but slowly but surely, it's probably a little bit before even I retired. You could see it slowly dissipating. The essence was slowly being squeezed out of it, and then this is all going to trickle down or up. I mean, pro leagues are probably not too far behind. You know what I mean? It's hate speech. Everything is going to be lumped into these political buckets almost, right?
Yeah.
To attempt to eliminate anyone's feelings being hurt. But you sign up for it. I mean, he's playing these hard sports, and there's really that element of obviously competition, but beyond the competition, there's something deeper that hockey players have when they're fighting for the puck, fighting for position.
Yeah.
It's an emotional sport. I mean, I can't even imagine ever thinking in my lifetime that you'd see something like that.
I remember a few years ago being on the bench and a couple times, guys just chirping. Nothing, just chirping. Whatever, nice play, you pussy, blah, 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 anything like that. And linesmen, some linesmen would be like, hey, enough, no talking. Guys are like, what?
Yeah, no talking.
Do you understand this is what we do?
Yeah.
And they do understand that. That's the thing.
They're just
understand if someone's mic'd and something really dumb is said. I get all that, but you don't want anything. You're crossing a line, but calling the kid that is not, especially in hockey. And it's almost any sport. I hate to say it. You don't want your kid saying it, but these guys are it's just crazy. You get suspended 5 games for calling someone that.
Open up a can of worms with that one.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, a little bit embarrassed to say, I would have been suspended for life for some of the stuff that I said back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessary to go that extreme probably either. But once you start taking away these freedoms for guys to, I guess you could argue that these are negative forms of self-expression, but they're emotional beings in emotional situations, and they're gonna react. So I think it just opens. It's setting the stage for something worse down the road. It's who knows how this plays out, but. I'd like to learn more about the story, if there's any other intricacies that we're missing, because it just seems so odd. One little thing, all year long, no one's called anybody that.
Said that. I know.
All year long, there hasn't been any bullying in the OHL. What?
There's bullying every game.
Every game, every
someone
shift.
shoving
every
someone.
shift. There's bullying. Every scrum, there's some flexing going on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, huh. Might have to meditate on that one, Nast. And
you might have to meditate and hit that jumjimbe.
Find some solutions.
I saw you opened up a new pack of those, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Fresh pack.
Good thing. Whew.
Had the 20 little hockey players banging on those.
Banging on those? Is it helping their middies?
No.
Not
yet.
I was going to say bring one.
Yeah, I know, right? I would have banged on one a long time ago.
Yeah, happened. No shit, right? One other coaching thing I left out, our good friend Rick Tocchet. Jack Adams Award winner. That's man, right. What an honor. What a job he's done since he stepped in there. Congratulations to him. They lost a tough 7th game at home. We'll talk about that in a second. But Talk, you're the man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He did a hell of a job there.
Did a hell of a job. There's a couple other coaches that, are in the mention there. Chris Knobloch.
Right.
Like, boy, did he turn that team around. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a second as well. But congrats, Talk. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Amazing job.
Yep.
Hey, hockey heads. Get ready for the Daily Face-Off Playoff Parlay Challenge. Each game day, answer 4 questions. Picking the winning team, guess if points will be over or under, predict the first goal, and choose the highest scoring period. Daily winners snag gift cards, while each round's champs pocket cash. Play now at games.dailyfaceoff.com and prove your puck prowess. It's fast, it's fun, and it's all about hockey. Let's go.
All right, Riggs, we're into the conference finals. How did we get here? It's so quick. I hate it because it's like dwindling down, man. It's almost over. But start with Rangers in Carolina. Get that big win. We talked about it last week in New York, and you're going back home, and we talked about it's a tough place to play. You're up 3-1 going into the third. You got to feel like you're in a good
position. Had it in the bag.
And I remember I was heading to I was in Pittsburgh, and I said to Elvis, I said, it's the worst lead in hockey. He goes, why? And I said, I don't know. But that's anytime we would get down 2 during the game, and guys would be like, boy, it's the worst lead in hockey, 2 goals. And I'd be like, well, wouldn't 1 be, like the worst?
Yeah.
If any lead. But
I think psychologically, it's like that too. You think you're safe.
You think you're safe.
So you stop. You stop doing the things that made you successful,
right?
And then they score 1, and then it's just like everyone's on their heels, and you know how it goes. It's
what
like
happened?
It's just like playing too safe. Yeah, exactly.
Chris Kreider happened.
Yeah, exactly.
In the third period.
My God, just domination.
Hattie, not a big deal. Thanks for coming. How's your mother?
Yeah,
some people say no, but it was insane. They're up 3-1, and you're like, you just got to think, all right, they can probably hold off here. In New York, probably start cheating a little bit, maybe, because Carolina's really good, going back the other way, a fast team, but they didn't, man. And they won. They
turned it on.
It's a big game 6, and obviously Kreider. I mean, the whole team.
Yeah,
they all played well, but man, Igor Shesterkin, when he came down to it, he made the saves he had to make. And they move on.
Yeah,
they move on. We'll get into that in a second. To play the Panthers, who go into Boston after a huge win without their captain. Marchand comes back for Game 6 in Boston. You got to think there's a good chance, obviously, of them pushing it to 7. Game 7, anything happens, right? But Marchand does play. Gustav Forsling scores with a minute, 33 left on the clock. That's one of the worst feelings there. It sucks losing in overtime.
Yeah.
But with a minute to go.
God,
and I don't know if you saw it. I know you saw the highlights, but the puck is on edge. It goes through the D, and it had eyes. It found the net because Swayman obviously had been so good in the playoffs. It goes in just oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, death blow.
But Florida's got a good team.
They got a great team, man.
Hats off to Boston for pushing it without their captain too. They played, which a lot of teams play without, certain players that get injured in the playoffs. But he came back, but they just couldn't do it.
No,
they couldn't do it.
Yeah, Florida's gonna be tough. I mean, I think we can move on to the series, but
yeah,
I see this going 7.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be a dogfight, and I think it's gonna get more and more physical as this thing progresses.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the Rangers and Florida and the Eastern Conference Finals here. You're right. Last night, I really thought it'd be a heavier game.
I thought so.
Way more hits. Florida just seemed to have them off balance a little bit. It's game one. You're kind of filling each other out. But to go into New York, win game one, they said, I think I saw something, 68% of the teams that win game one usually win. That's not a huge percentage, but, I mean, that's a big win.
Yeah.
Going into New York, tough place to play. The team's fired up. But I will say New York's lost 3 of their last 4 games. Too. So they started out, they were on fire. They win 7 straight, Baller, to start the playoffs. And they've lost 3 or 4. I'm not saying they're done by any means. I'm just saying Florida last night really kind of, I mean, they went 16, Christ, they went 16 plus minutes without a shot in between shots.
That's hard to believe.
And I think they had 11 in the third period or 12, but they end up with 23 shots for the game. That's for the Rangers. That's not enough for the Rangers. So,
think fatigue's kicking in or something? Like, I mean, it's...
it's hard to say. I was going to ask you, we saw Mark Messier, your buddy Mark Messier, kind of talking about make sure Rimpe's in, and they showed a couple clips where he's just he's just lined up and they're chanting his name. It just gets the people going. He gets them on the forecheck.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Just get some meat on the forecheck. It doesn't have to be him, but anybody. You got to start hounding their D.
Yeah, you have to. You have to, and you can't take anything away from Florida either.
No.
Obviously, they're a great team, but last night I don't want to say it looked easy, but. I mean, they wanted empty net goal, but they just played so well, and Bob looked so just so confident. They just looked really good last night. It's one game, I know that. I loved it. I think it was the first or second period. Paul Maurice, they get interviewed real quick, and he asked about the matching of lines, and he's like, "Was something we have to deal with? And we're confident." All 4 of our lines, and he goes, if we can't match up with Zibanejad and them, then they've got a different line on Barkov. So I'm not basically saying we don't really need to match up. Now, obviously, they will at home, the way they want to do their matchups, but I kind of liked how he just said we're comfortable. Yeah. Even if he's not. He seems like he's... I really like the way he handles himself, Paul Maurice. He seems
talk about that for a second, because there was, between the series there, he had a lot of media coverage. And I'm like, I like the way he speaks most of the time. I was almost getting the sense that he was loving to hear himself speak more than he should. You know what I mean? It was almost like okay, because he's a good speaker,
right? He is,
but he's a good speaker. And then when he pauses and finds some silence, but when he keeps building off what he's saying, I feel like he gets lost. I don't know, if it was just an act, if he was just trying to be light or what it was. But I thought there was a few times he had the podium there where he was, I don't know, stretching out his speech a little bit longer. Well, not even, I guess. But just maybe he was just feeding into the media's hand a little bit more than I remember him, because I always remember him just he's very clear on what he says.
Right.
Good speaker, obviously, and but he doesn't usually get into the extra fluffy stuff.
Right.
But hey, he's done a hell of a job there.
He really has, and last night your normal guys, Kachuk, Carter Verhaeghe scores, Sam Bennett scores. So, and Bob was just great.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh.
Your best players are your best players.
Yeah.
Eh?
I mean, you think back to last year, Riggs, Bob was their backup.
I know, it's hard to
going
believe
into the playoffs. Alex Lyon was, playing most of the games. And then, Bob stepped in and they get to the finals. And then this year he's, playing the way Bob can play. And he looked great last night. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens in game 2. Should be a heavier game. I would say so.
I think they got to address Rempe, especially in New York for games. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, in New York.
In New York,
sure.
get the crowd going. You can let this guy just get on the forecheck. Just stir up some energy.
No one's gonna fight him.
No one. Yeah, it's not even about the. It's not about the fight.
It's
not even about
You're
that.
right.
It's just you just need more energy. You just need more. You need to start dictating how the series goes.
Exactly.
That's the way I see it. But
so we'll see. Game 2, Friday night. Edmonton wins Game 7 in Vancouver.
Unbelievable, huh?
It's crazy. They basically own the game. We've talked about this before. I just felt like 5 guys were back the entire game. Chris Knobloch's got these guys playing defense as well, and they're not getting a ton of. The Van didn't get a ton of shots,
no,
either Game 6 or 7. And I was kidding around. I said, "Damn, Elvis could have played Game 6." I don't think Skinner saw. I don't remember the exact number on the shots, but I think it was 15 or something like that, and then 17.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's not a lot I
mean, props to them. I mean, you keep that number down like that, it's like unheard of almost.
It's crazy, and I will say, I saw Chris Knobloch talking to the media, and they had asked him about putting Skinner back in because our buddy Pick was in for games 4 and 5 and got a win, and then lost the other one late. And he just said, we told Skinner to get his head back on, take a couple days, and you're the number one guy, and you're coming in, and shut the door. And, in that Game 7, it was like Edmonton was kind of cruising, and then a late push by Vancouver. But is something wrong with Pettersson? You think? Because, this always happens.
Yeah.
He probably didn't play up to his potential. And even Hughes, the last couple of games, didn't seem like himself. But again,
like he's
you
running
got to
out
give
of gas.
Edmonton a little bit of credit too.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, you have to give them credit as well. So, and you lose Brock Besser with blood clots, doesn't help.
That's tough.
Game 6 and 7 for Edmonton. Hyman 11 goals in the playoffs. Like the same guys are doing it, right?
Yeah.
So Edmonton wins Game 7. It was kind of a toss-up. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but they get Dallas now.
Oh, yeah.
Edmonton, after they got rid of the Avs in 6 games.
It's going to be high-paced,
I think so, too. It's going to be fun to watch. Matt Duchene ends up finally, he gets his second goal of the playoff, scores in double OT in that Game 6. Pretty entertaining game, and I just had the feeling Dallas was going to find a way, and they did. Not that I should have put something on that. But, sure. We were talking about Miro Heiskanen, and guy's playing 28 minutes.
That's a lot of minutes.
28 minutes. He's got 13 points, I think, in 13 games, 5 goals, 8 assists. They're good, man. Jason Robertson, young kid.
Yeah.
Ottinger in that. Like, we talk about him, Wyatt Johnson. Like, they're young guys or they're top scoring guys, but then you look and there's Siggs and there's Ben, Jamie Ben. And the way they're playing, man, it's just – they're a good team.
They're well set up team.
Oh, man.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, the chemistry there is on point.
Yeah, it is. So this will be we got Dallas versus the Oil. We have Dallas versus Edmonton here in the Western Conference Final, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Keeps getting more exciting, Nast.
It does. All right, Riles, this is our betting segment brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Nasty Knuckles. Open an account with Bet365, Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, Riggs, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code HOCKEYCA. Riles, did you know that Riley, did you know that Bet365 is the largest sports betting platform globally, and it's very easy to navigate? Tons of options.
Oh, yeah, Nast.
Very
well aware.
Yes, very well aware. So, in saying that, what do you got for Friday night?
Ooh, it's a tough one, Nast. I'm excited for the game, but I'm going with the Rangers at a -105 on the money line. President's Trophy winner. Not going to lose.
Good point.
2 games back-to-back at home. And I think they got it.
All right.
So
you think Lavi's going to push some buttons?
I think he's pushing buttons. I think he's going to get Rempe in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's where my head's at.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do on my Bet365 app here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go against you.
Whew.
Because I think Florida looked really good. And I'm going to take the same game parlay, Florida at New York Rangers. And I'm going to go with the money line. Florida Panthers. I think they're going to find a way here. I don't know. I have a weird feeling. Sam Reinhart to score a goal.
Oh, wow.
He does that.
He does.
And I like Alexander Barkov to have 1+ assist.
Wow, so specific.
So
I like where your head's at.
That's a plus 500. So if I can hit that,
You're
that's what I'm
rolling.
doing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Nast, you get your HelloFresh in this morning?
Oh, not yet. I'm
Not yet?
having it for lunch. It's like a restaurant quality meal at home. It only takes me 20 minutes, and I look like the best chef in the world. Today I've got the mushroom and herb shepherd's pie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Delish. Throw it in, 20 minutes, boom, done. No waiting on delivery. None of that. Boom, done. Delish.
Just waking up your taste buds and
yeah.
getting ready for summer. The balanced, fit, and wholesome recipes, chock full of fresh produce, all under 650 calories per serving.
Yes, sir.
That's what you need, Nas. Trim up for the
I'm trying to trim
summertime.
up. Summertime, baby.
When you sign up today, you'll unlock free dessert for life, Nast. Satisfy your sweet tooth with a decadent dessert of your choice in every HelloFresh box for free.
Wow. So everyone go to HelloFresh.com/NastySweet for free dessert for life. One dessert item per box while subscription is active. That's free dessert for life at HelloFresh.com/NastySweet. All right, Riggs, you know what time it is?
Oh, I do.
It is time for Clear Questions, brought to you by Clear Rum. Go to clearrum.com/shop. Type in Nasty 2023 and you will get 35% off of your order. PA residents only. Baller, what do you got?
Today we got Notorious PIG over on Twitter leading us
Pac-Man?
Oh,
off.
he's back. He's back.
He asked if Michkov needs some cash to buy out his contract, can you get Tovey to sign him to an endorsement deal?
Well,
Great
we're the
question.
guys to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just make that call. Richard, coach,
Open up the checkbook.
open it up. I know Scrub Diggity Daddy, Aaron Krause, who works with us with Tovey. They got it. Let's get him.
Let's get him in a Tovey. Get him over here. If that's what it takes.
If he's got to pay it out, that's what we'll do. In
have
all
to make this
seriousness, yeah, like we talked about this earlier, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But like we said, it's coming from pretty good sources that it looks like he's going to be here. But yeah, Tovey, we see if he can do it.
You wonder how those conversations go when you got to drum up your own cake to buy yourself out of a contract.
I guess you figure you're going to make it back anyway, right?
I would put money on that. You have to bet on yourself.
You have to bet on yourself. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for the question. But yeah, we're willing to do it. I'm speaking for all the bosses at Tovey.
We're going to try our hardest to get this guy into Tovey.
Exactly.
It's our mission.
That's our mission.
We're getting Mitchy here.
We're getting Mitchy.
Philly wants the cup over on Twitter. Do you have any cool behind-the-scenes stories from 14 years ago against the Boston Bruins?
Whew.
Well, Riley doesn't remember that day, even though you warmed up. You might remember warm-ups.
That day or just like that
well,
series?
from the night before. Or this... Every night in
the whole
Boston
year.
every night in Boston we seem to find something to do.
Oh, yeah. A little blurry.
It was a lot of fun. But day of game, I just remember it was kind of up in the air with Gags playing.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, he ends up with a game winner. But I think just the nerves of that situation coming back from three, it's almost like you're coming back from 3 games down, which hadn't only been done like once, I think, before, maybe twice, I can't remember. But just how focused you guys were. But now it's almost like the pressure is on the Flyers because you come back and fight like that, and it did not look good going down 3-0. And probably the biggest thing, maybe more than something beforehand, was when Lavi called a timeout, which has been talked about a million times, and he said to the guys on the bench, you guys, just get one here before we go in, and we'll be fine. And that's really what really sticks out in my mind the most about that day. But also just wondering if Simone, who had just lit it up game 4, 5, and 6, if he's going to be able to play, because there were questions, believe it or not, if he was going to be able to play that game, and he ends up with the G-dub.
That's right, yeah. And I think what the media hasn't really reported was the Black Aces, how they were stumbling around the rink that morning. Just bringing it.
Well, you knew you were going to sweat it because Coach Joey Mullen, you definitely were playing two pass. So you guys worked it right out.
Just bringing that high level 2-pass.
You were seeing 3 people when you walked in. Like you had a little bit of blurred vision.
Yeah.
But you weren't the only one.
But I was bringing it. I brought the energy.
You did.
Maybe not the clarity or the focus, but the energy was there.
No, but we all had the energy. It's hard not to get pumped up.
That's right.
But great question. Thank you.
We got one final one. This one's from Chris Talks Sports over on Twitter. It's been talked about, too much honestly, he says, about how bad the Flyers need a power play star. Who and where does that player come from, and who are some names either in free agency or trade that could fill that need?
Well,
start with Mitch.
Let's start with Matvei coming over. I believe he's going to help your power play.
I would think he will.
Also, the rumors you heard coming out of Buffalo, one of your good friends there about... No. You did... Well,
Tage?
Tage. One of your... Tocchet? You were hearing he was looking to come here.
He's done. Buff.
He wants
out.
He heard Matvei is...
He says that I want to be on a high-level power play.
Well, he's going to change that. In all honesty, Riley does have an insider in Buffalo, but it's a great question because Matvei obviously is a player that, that's his, he's a highly skilled player, which we haven't got to really see in person yet. But as far as bringing free agents in, I don't know if that's really going to happen when we're still at this, people as good of a year as we had, still rebuilding. So unless something they can steal something, you never know. You never know what's going to happen here at the draft. That free agency, see where the cap's at for one, with the Flyers, and you have some guys you have to re-sign as well. So it is a great question, but if Michkov can get here, I think that's going to really help your power play.
100%, yeah. And I agree that I don't see them actively pursuing a high level free agent right now.
Right.
Probably for a couple of reasons, but so I think they're going to have to be patient with what they have internally.
Right.
Michkov works out. Obviously, that's a huge piece stepping in the right direction there. But I think some of these guys internally are going to have to step up. They're going to have to try and solve this.
It's got to be better.
It's got to be better. It's obviously got to be better. They're going to have to solve this in some way, shape, or form internally. Any bit of help outside is going to move the needle, but I think the fans are going to have to be patient.
Yep, I agree.
Do you think maybe a hockey trade? I agree with you that I don't see them making a big move in free agency, but you hear Marty Necas's name floating around a lot recently. I could see the Flyers, especially if Michkov does come over, you have a lot of depth on that right wing side. Mm-hmm. Maybe bring in a higher point-producing centerman.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. And that's what, this will all work itself out, but that's why it's kind of, the summer stinks because there's no hockey, but all these things, create excitement. And you never know, Danny's got a couple tricks up his sleeve, and we'll see what happens. But it'll be fun. It's a great point, Baller.
Yeah, and that's how I see something like that happening. Is if it's like an organic trade that serves both parties, that is not forced. You're not trying too hard. But if it makes sense, numbers wise and chemistry wise, stuff like that happens. But it's hard to predict those types of things. But great question.
Bring Tage to Philly.
Bring him. Bring him. What do you got, Nas?
That's it, buddy. Can you believe it?
I really can't.
I can't either.
Is that 159 in the books?
I think it's 159 in the books.
Well,
next week's 160.
Simple
I can
math.
tell you that
Simple
for free.
math. Yeah. Well, that's a wrap.
All right.
159 in the books. Be sure to tune in for 160 next week. Subscribe on YouTube. Like. Ask Nasty a comment.
Yeah.
Pick his brain. He's got all kinds of good stuff.
Lots of memories.
Lots of memories. Great memory. Until next week, be sure to stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.